Thank you all very much. This was a very, very pleasant type of cooperation.
I'm glad to see that young generation is ready to undertake this task. I will listen to you and I hope to find many new things. Thank you very much.
While developing the concept for the symposium, two aspects were important to me. First, I wanted to bring together experts in the field of Caucasiology to discuss and find the answers to the following questions. Should humanities and its subjects be redefined? Are we experiencing a change of paradigm with what we are doing? Is this now the time of reinterpretation of our knowledge and aims, of what we accept and use as resources, of what methods of research should be used, and of how we can meet the challenges of the digital era in both research and education? Are we really experiencing a revolution in science? And lastly, where are we going?
Very important event today to celebrate and to discuss the future perspectives. And internationally, I believe it is very important to advertise the possibilities which are given by this digitalization of the content we have. In the international space, it is very important for the researchers, and for us, it is very important in order to see the achievements and the future goals. I met Jost when I came to Frankfurt because he was a very active scientist, but also very active in university politics. And he was shaping university till he left to Hamburg. And he was building up, he's the father of Caucasiology, of the Georgian studies here as we know it today.
At least in other languages like English or German. About 8 years ago, when I went to the monastery together with my friend Bernard Outtier, who is hopefully somewhere behind us, we had the task to make an investigation of only 3 of those manuscripts, namely those that were styled as palimpsests in the catalogue. And they offered to us the whole collection. They showed us every single manuscript so that we could check whether there were some more palimpsests. And at the end, when we asked whether we could work on them, they said, yes, you can, under one condition. You have to provide us a new catalogue of our Georgian collection. And then we sat down and said, well, this is a work for several years, and we've not come here in order to do that. But then we discussed it, and Bernard and myself agreed that why not? It's an interesting task, and in this way we would have in our hands every single manuscript of that collection.
The second important factor of the symposium was that we dedicated one day of the symposium to young scientists from both Europe and Georgia. This way they could present their works and research results, and together with the older generation within the framework of the symposium, we discussed what future awaits Caucasiology.
I work at the Catholic University of Louvain in Belgium,
the University of Lausanne in Switzerland,
University of Bergen in Norway.
I am the CEO of CALFA.
I finished my bachelor's degree and master's degree here in Frankfurt University, so I'm very happy to be back here.
Well, I suppose I am still a specialist in cart philology and in Georgian, although I began with Russian and I keep on lapsing back to Russian.
We develop natural language processing tools for Armenian, Georgian, and Caucasian, other Caucasian languages. It's very important to us to be here at the symposium with the Professor Tandashvili. We can share experience, resources, contact with other people working in the same field.
I am specializing in the ancient Christian literature. Very happy to be here because this is an important opportunity to meet colleagues from different fields.
I have worked for a long time on computational linguistics, both for Norwegian but also for Georgian and Abkhaz. I'm working now on Abkhaz syntax, and I'm very glad to meet colleagues in this small field here at the conference. This is very important for me.
And I am here to discuss about the potential of all languages for developing new technologies. And it is very important for me to be here to discuss with experts of all languages like Georgian, Armenian, to see what we could do in the future with AI for these languages.
And this can be due to I think this symposium was very significant for all of us, for all the participants. It is very important for the younger generation to have that kind of meeting with the older senior researchers, and this was the perfect chance for those 2 or 3 generations to come together and to discuss about old methods, about new methods, to help each other, to discuss with each other, and most importantly, to research with each other.
It is transliterated using Latin characters. Symposium has meant a lot to me personally, mostly because the connections that I can make with other researchers in particular. And then it's been really nice to be able to talk to researchers who are further ahead in their careers or in a place where they can offer some advice. I've really appreciated getting a lot of really good comments on my presentation, all the questions and the engagement that the other presenters get, because that really gives a lot of opportunity for good discussion. Advice that maybe you can't get during a Q&A session, so it's been very invaluable to me, especially as I finish up my PhD study.
Yeah, I think this is a wonderful experience by listening to each other's talks, which were very inspiring today and over the past couple of days. Secretly after the talks or between the talks, because that's where the real interaction happens and where collaborations are made. I've heard a wide variety of talks from Georgian linguistics to mythology to computer science and everything in between. And it's been extremely inspiring.
The topic of my presentation was about my favorite work, the creation of calligraphic and paleographic fonts. Being a lawyer coming from a completely different academic background, I have been to many conferences before, but this is my first time at a scientific symposium of such high international caliber. I think this is a very important experience for young researchers to be able to present our work on a bigger scale, on an international level, with our colleagues from different research areas. It's a great experience to be able to present what we are working on, but also at the same time very interesting to find out what our colleagues are working on right now.
Georgian, I still have a lot of work to do. I occasionally translate from Georgian, although I'm waiting for some more interesting novels to be written. And I still have work to do on revising the dictionary of Georgian English, because the language is still developing. In fact, it's developing at an enormous speed. So I shall have to wait for it to slow down before I can work on it.
Ms. Tandaschwili, she is the brain and the translator and the door opener in Georgia. She is actually a person who lives up to this culture, and I will never forget when she took me to Tiflis and she showed me around. She had this flame in her eyes, and she was so excited that I was there and see the connections between the two countries she is trying to build and constantly to improve. So I'm very excited to have those two colleagues, the one on my side and the other still surrounding our research.
The reports presented within the framework of the symposium showed us that in Europe today, many scientific and technological groups are working in digital Caucasiology. Our colleagues presented technological resources such as the latest methods of digital research of manuscripts, including programs for automatic reading of manuscripts, software tools for the analysis of Caucasian languages, including Georgian and Abkhazian, were presented, and the development of language technologies was discussed here. Today we have finished the International Symposium dedicated to issues of digital Caucasiology. We heard very interesting reports during these 5 days, which were presented in several sessions of the symposium. One day was completely dedicated to young scientists, and it was especially important that the young Caucasiologists presented themselves well at the symposium.
I think this is extremely important for Georgia to integrate itself not only on the political level into Europe, but also on the scientific level, and to show that we also are capable of researching in a modern way, using modern tools, and to generate new findings, new research areas. And I'm very happy that I had the possibility to present new digital methods of proto-linguistical research regarding political language in Georgia.
Our goal is to really reach out to international partners. We have so many challenges currently ongoing in the world. We have a political situation which is new, the world is newly organized, and I think it's important to have connections but also knowledge about our partners. Therefore, I foresee that the work which we have started, that this will be continued, at least on the level we have it right now, because it's also a dedication to the internationalization of our university.
I think that now we are dealing with a change in the philosophy of science, a change in paradigms, and we must take that into account in our scientific work in the future.